Is Anthropic losing money on every Claude Max subscription? Are they going to kill Claude Max altogether and just make everybody pay through the API? Why did I have to give my OpenClaw agent a lobotomy yesterday? And what is my path going forward if Claude is no longer going to be an option? I'm going to answer all of these questions and probably introduce some new questions in just a moment. Here is today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Shoutout.io. If you're running a business online, you know that testimonials matter, but the problem is they end up everywhere. Someone tweets about you, another person leaves a nice comment over on your LinkedIn, and maybe you get a really great email from a customer. But what happens when you actually want to use those testimonials on your website? You're either stuck taking screenshots or manually copying and pasting them into some template somewhere. It is a mess. Shoutout.io solves this. You can collect video and text testimonials through a simple form or import them directly from Twitter, LinkedIn, and other platforms. After you've gathered your testimonials, Shoutout makes it easy to display them on your site as a wall of love or a carousel. It handles the whole process. Adding testimonials to your site can increase conversion rates by around 15% on average. Shoutout makes it easy to actually collect and showcase that proof. Right now, they're offering a special lifetime deal. Just $199 gets you lifetime access. That is $100 off. It's normally $299. A one-time payment, not a monthly fee. You know I love that. You get unlimited testimonials, by the way, across 3 websites and all future updates included. You can check out the link in the description to grab the lifetime deal. My thanks to Shoutout for sponsoring today's video. So yesterday, Anthropic put out Sonnet 4.6. I was really excited when I saw this news because it introduced a 1 million token context window, which means your chats can be very long before the agent starts to forget everything you've been talking about. And then I switched over to the model and my agent started throwing conniption fits. Authentication error, OAuth authentication is currently not supported. Now, this was worrisome, but not entirely shocking to me because I know that on January 9th, Anthropic did this before. They locked everybody out of using Open Code and by default, OpenClaw, which was around back then, but it wasn't nearly the story it is right now. And they could no longer use their paid subscriptions with these third-party services. The internet threw a fit then, and I think Anthropic kind of loosened the reins a little bit, and it started to work again. And you know, for a lot of people, it is still working. So here is exactly how you do it. I actually don't know why this process even exists if it's not allowed. If you run Claude setup-token in your command line, assuming you already have Claude code installed, it lets you get what looks like an API key. So all you do is follow the commands here. I'm in a remote machine, so I'm gonna press C. That'll copy this over to my clipboard. Then you jump into your browser, paste it in, and it asks you if you'd like to authenticate. It gives you a little one-time token here. I'll copy this, and then you just feed it back into the command line, and you get what looks like an API key. Now I'm gonna blur this out here because you could still access my account with this key, but you can't use any third-party services with it, at least in the eyes of Anthropic. Now, this has been really confusing to many consumers out there. I'm not talking about mega corporations that are building Anthropic competitors, or even developers or small companies that are trying to build an entire business and then instead of paying for the API key, they use Max accounts. No, we're just talking about normal people that want to run OpenClaw because it's awesome and fun. Well, today they clarified things officially. So these are the Claude code docs, and it says right here, using OAuth tokens obtained through Claude free Pro or Max accounts, like I just showed you, you can't use them in any product, tool, or service, including the agent SDK. It's not permitted, and it constitutes a violation of the consumer terms of service. So there you have it. It's in plain black and white. Well, whatever color Claude uses here, it's in plain off-white and slightly gray text. You're not allowed to do what we've been doing, but it's so confusing because it's even part of the OpenClaw setup. Like when you install OpenClaw for the first time or you run OpenClaw configure, you see a screen that looks somewhat like this and you choose where you're going to install it. And one of the options is to pick a model and a provider. So I'm going to choose Anthropic. And you can see right here, it says use the Claude setup token and just paste it in. So I could put my token right here and it expects it to work. And I think for many people, it still is. Unfortunately for me, I got cut off yesterday. Now, I want to be clear, my Claude account wasn't banned. I can still use Claude Code. I can still use Claude Desktop. It's just those OAuth keys I can't use in third-party tools. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I feel like paying for Claude Max. I am not a business. I'm not trying to let other people use my API key so I can sell them products and services, but I am using AI in my day-to-day life as well as for business purposes. I'm building things with AI, and I would like to continue to do that, but Anthropic doesn't seem to want really me or anyone else to do so. Shortly after that change in copy on their website went live, I started seeing all sorts of rumors all over the internet, like this person from Reddit announcing that they just got banned for having multiple Claude Max accounts. That means that one Max account wasn't enough for them, so they decided to give Anthropic even more money, something you think would be good, but no, they said you can't do that, and they ended up banning their entire account is what it sounds like. I mean, the user might be saying that hyperbolically because it says that signing into another account has stopped working, meaning that maybe the first account still works. But in any event, what's going on at Anthropic? There was another post saying that Claude is dropping Max plans for enterprise and maybe everyone else. So this person owns a company and their developers have Max 20 plans, which is the $200 a month plan. And they were told that once the current contract was up, they had to switch over to pay as you go API pricing. So it really sounds like Claude just kind of screwed up when they did this pricing for the Max plans. They're too good to be true, quite literally. So my question is, why not just shrink down the limits? Sure, everyone would lose their mind, but price it appropriately so that you can sustain your business. I mean, we don't want Anthropic to go out of business, but it seems like they're headed that way. I mean, who am I kidding? We know they won't go out of business because some VC will prop them up. I mean, it was just 6 days ago that they raised $30 billion in a Series G funding round at a $380 billion post-money valuation. Those are giant numbers. Those are numbers so big, the average person just can't compute them. I mean, think about it. The average person can't buy a house that's worth $300,000 or $400,000. We are talking about thousands of times more money than that. I mean, it really feels like there's some internal tension going on at Anthropic where they just don't quite know where this subscription fits into their long-term plans. This is Tariq from Anthropic. He works at Anthropic. I believe he's head of developer relations, and he posted, apologies, this was a doc cleanup we rolled out that's caused some confusion. Nothing is changing about how you can use Agent SDK and Max subscriptions. So that got me excited. I thought, well, maybe I just logged in too many times and they like rate limited me or something. So I went and I tried it again after seeing this, and it's been, over 24 hours. So hopefully any rate limits would have elapsed by then. And same issue, I still get the OAuth not allowed error. In some of the replies here, he says he wants to encourage local development, but if you're building a business on top of the Agent SDK, you should use an API key, which makes total sense to me. But he is not answering the question that is asked about 150 times here. Why are you making things so confusing? Just say the obvious. Everyone wants to know, can we use our Claude Max subscriptions with OpenClaw or Open Code or not? So with the AI world as volatile as it is, it really has me thinking. I'm spending a lot of time building out workflows for things like Claude Code. I don't want to get stuck in one ecosystem that might not be tenable for me to stay with, either because I just can't afford the API subscription, or maybe their business model goes a different direction and doesn't really even care about the small guys like me. So what I've done is I've switched over to Kimi K2.5. I think this is working. Now let's try it out. See if Lloyd wakes up here. I'm going to start a new conversation. And yeah, sure enough, Lloyd is working on Moonshot Kimi K2.5. Now, if you don't know what that is a model from a competing Chinese AI research institution or company or whatever we're calling these things these days. So this is the Moonshot website, and it's basically just like the Anthropic website, which is basically just like the OpenAI website, which is basically just the XAI website. All of these companies are complete commodities at this point. It's who has the best model for the best price right now. Now, obviously, as an American, using a Chinese model just kind of feels wrong. Like I'm just going to have my identity stolen and any software I develop will have, backdoors in it that I have no idea about. But this is what I'm using right now, Kimi K2.5. And one of the reasons to do this is that it's really, really cheap compared to using the Anthropic API. According to a quick Google search here, this is their AI result. Kimi K2.5 is significantly more cost-effective than Opus 4.6, with input tokens costing 10 times less, 10 to 12 times less, and output tokens costing 10 to 14 times less. And the good news here is that it's actually very similar in performance. They do have some benchmarks here, and as you can see, Kimi is in blue. These are all very similar at this point. Kimi's better in some areas, worse at others. Like if you're into coding, Claude and Codex are still going to be the top models, but Kimi's not far behind. I threw $20 into Kimi last night. It gave me $5 in bonus vouchers, and I've spent about $10 today. So, $10 a day, 30 days, I'm gonna be about $300 a month if I did this every single day. Today was a little bit heavier in usage, so I imagine I would still stay right around that $200 mark. I'm not using AI 7 days a week for like 12 hours a day. I mean, it's close. But my real point here is that I want to pick tools that are open source and that I can plug whatever model I want to into them. That way I'm not in the same situation I am right now where I've got all of these workflows built out inside of Claude and Claude Code that I'm gonna have to find a way to transplant into another ecosystem. Now, I'm definitely not going to stick with this Chinese model forever. I do have longer term plans, which I'll talk about in a second. But if I end up spending more than the $200 a month that I'm used to with my Claude Max account, they do have a subscription service as well that's kind of caught my eye, and I might switch over to this. It's kind of hard to find the pricing for the subscription, so I just click around a lot until I get there. The banners, like you can see, it's still saying like Black Friday 2025, and we're probably closer to next Black Friday than we were last Black Friday, or at least it's like marginal. Here it is. They call it Kimi Code, just like Claude Code, and they have subscription plans. So you can spend, if you pay annually here, I'm going to do monthly because I'm not paying anything annually for AI for the time being. You can do anywhere from $20 all the way up to $200 a month. I'm not sure exactly how much you'll be able to use it, whether it's similar to Claude Code, whether you get 10x as much because it's 10 times cheaper, but that's something I will figure out if my expenses go over what I'm used to. I think for me, what I'd really like to do is just save up a chunk of cash, and when the next version of the Mac Studios drop, I'm just gonna lay into that and get the biggest, baddest machine I can run. And then I'll be able to use something like Open Code with my self-hosted LLM. And that just seems like it is the path forward because then no one can rug pull you. If you're not familiar with Open Code, this is very similar to Claude Code, but it's open source, so you can install it on any machine you want. They even have desktop clients for macOS, Windows, and Linux. Just like Claude Code, you copy the command from their website, open up your shell and paste it in, and then it's going to install, and you'll be able to use it to control your files, have it code projects for you. Yeah, it's really, really similar. The one step in the middle is you have to input your API key. To launch Open Code, just navigate to the directory that you want to work in and then type Open Code, just like Claude Code, and then you can connect up your LLM. Now, for me, for the time being, like I've said in this video a few times now, that's gonna be Kimi K2.5, but that doesn't mean that's what I'm planning to stick with long-term. I would really like to self-host the new Minimax model, also from China, but you can run it locally on your own machine. It takes a big, beefy computer to do that, right? We need lots of shared video RAM. So the Mac Studio really seems like the way to go here, but I'm gonna wait till the newer model comes out. Hopefully it is gonna just last a little bit longer. There's rumors that it'll be out in a few weeks, so we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I'll connect up my provider doing /connect and then just choose whatever provider you'd like to use. Moonshot AI is right here, and then just paste in your API key. Hit exit, and then you're good to go. You can do all of your Claude Code-like things, switch between build mode and plan mode with the tab key and have it organize your folders or even build you a complete SaaS in a single shot. I'm gonna have it build me a simple little project here to create a web page that says welcome to Open Code. So let's try this out. Now, one really nice thing about this tool is it tells you exactly how much you're spending. Up in the corner here, you can see I've spent $0 as it's getting started. I'm not in plan mode, by the way, so the result here could be awesome or terrible. I probably should have had it planned. I've spent a penny. Yeah, so you can really keep track of your expenses as you're working. And I kind of appreciate that because everything was very obscured in Claude, especially if you're working on Claude Desktop. You don't really know how much it's using until you go into that usage screen. All right, this is a remote machine, so I'm just gonna make it accessible on my Tailscale network. There we go, I've got my URL. And there it is, welcome to Open Code. So let's wrap this thing up. That's where I'm at right now. These are the tools that I plan to use going into the future, at least Open Code as well as OpenClaw. Knock on wood on that one, because it's a whole other bag of wax once the OpenAI folks got involved with it. So maybe that ends up turning into mush as well. Who knows? The internet loves things quickly and it hates things even more quickly. So check back in a few days and I'm sure my stack will change, but let me know what you're doing. Leave me a comment down below. I'm sure I'm missing some great open source tools, but I don't know what they are yet. So I'll check it out in the comments. If you have any questions, hit me up there as well. Thanks again to Shoutout for sponsoring today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.